In the year 2000, before the digital revolution, our attention span was 12 seconds. It has dropped to 8 seconds. To put things in perspective, a goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds. Yeah, we're losing to goldfish. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Christy Wright Show. I'm so excited because today we are talking about how you can have the best Christmas. And then later on in the show, I'm going to talk to you about some interesting research that for me at least was really eye-opening about how we use our phones. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. But first, let's talk about how you can have the best Christmas. You know, I've talked about this book before, but I want to share with you a book that has transformed how I interact with my phone and even approach my schedule and my life. This is called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. This is by John Mark Comer, but y'all, the whole premise of the book is exactly what it talks about. It's about getting hurry out of your life. Now, I want to go ahead and highlight something really interesting from the beginning. He's talking all about phones and technology, and he doesn't hate technology. I don't hate technology, but let's be honest, we struggle with this, y'all. It's stealing our moments and it's stealing our ability to be present for the people that matter the most. Here's some interesting things that he notes in here. The average iPhone user touches his or her phone 2,617 times per day. Each user is on his or her phone 2.5 hours over 76 sessions. Now, when we start to think about the amount of time that we spend on our phone, touching our phone, looking at our phone, checking our phone, it really makes us have a wake-up call about how we're using our time. Because I don't know about you, but I feel like I never have enough time. Don't you feel like that? Like there's never enough time in a day. There's not enough time to get my to-do list done. There's just never enough time. I feel like Jesse Spano once Saved by the Bell. Like there's no time. There's never any time, right? We all feel like that. But the reality is, we do have time. We're just spending it right here. Now, I don't think you're a bad person for looking at your phone. I don't think I'm a bad person for looking at my phone. What I think is there are more factors at play than we realize. There's something that's a cost, and our attention and our presence is at stake. Everything about technology, social media, apps on your phone are intentionally designed for distraction. Do you realize that? When you feel compelled to pick up your phone and check it over and over and over again, even though there are no notifications, even though it doesn't ring or buzz or move or light up, that you again and again and again go back to it, do you realize that's not your fault? It's actually the Silicon Valley companies playing on a vulnerability in the human psychology. When you check your phone and there is a notification, or you have a new like, or you have a new email, or a new text, there is a part of your brain that is releasing dopamine. It's the reward center in your brain. It's this reward loop that says, do that again, that feels good. It's the same part of your brain that makes you have 3 helpings of cake because it tastes good. Let's do that more. It's playing on a vulnerability in the human psychology where your brain is telling you to do more of that, whether it's good for you or not. Drugs. The addictive nature of drugs that's harming people. But the part of your brain that's releasing dopamine says, do it again, and your phone is doing the same thing. And you're missing moments. You're missing your life. You're missing your children's laughter, their funny joke, your husband telling you about something at work. You're missing sunsets. You're missing your entire life. All we want is more time. You don't need more time. You just need to be present for the time that you actually have. And I do too. I want to share a story with you that really stood out to me from years ago. I was a Young Life leader for years, and one of the things that I loved to do was take my kids to camp. We'd get all the kids from the school, and I would be a leader of one cabin of girls, of 10 or 12 girls, and we'd spend the whole week having this awesome time with no phones, by the way. They felt like they were going to lose their mind, and they actually had a great time being able to be present that week. We had a tradition. And what we would do is we would all cram in this club room. It's probably like 500 kids from all different schools all over the state, and they would show a recap video of the week. So this recap video has kids playing on the zip line, jumping off the blob, dressing up for country and Western line dancing night. They've got kids getting their face a pie in the face or their counselor's pie in the face. It's just silly, funny, fun camp memories. And I remember there was one specific year several years ago whenever I was at the back of the room and I was standing with my girls that are watching the video. And in that moment, I decided to do something different. I stopped watching the video. And instead, I watched the room. As my eyes scanned this room of 500 teenagers, which, by the way, are more addicted to their phones than anyone else in the world, not a single one of them took their eyes off the screen. Why? Every single person in that room was thinking the same thing. I hope I see me. I hope they show me. What if I make it in? What if I'm one of the people jumping off the block? What if they caught that really funny moment when we tried to build a pyramid and I fell off the top? What if I make it in? I hope I see me. And in that moment, I had this realization that every single high school student in that room has the same need that every single person needs. Young or old, introvert or extrovert, it does not matter your age or your gender. Every single human being has a need to feel seen. They just want to be seen. You want to be seen. They want to be noticed. That's why I believe the very best gift that you can give others and yourself this Christmas is simply your presence, your attention, your eye contact. Where someone tells you a story and you're not looking at your phone, nodding, What'd you say again? You put your phone down and you look up and you look at them in the eyes and you go, tell me more about that. What was that like? Tell me about your day at school. What do you want to do this weekend? Tell me about that problem at work. Look at that sunset. Do you see the airplane? Look at that bird right there on the fence, where you notice the small, beautiful things in your life. You stop missing them. You stop missing moments and you actually get to show up for your own life. The best gift you can give this Christmas is your presence, your eye contact. And what is so beautiful, y'all, what is so beautiful when you start intentionally putting your phone down and turning your head up to the person that is in front of you, and the moments that you are actually experiencing, you start to realize the gift is not just for that other person, it is a gift for you as well. You finally get to show up and experience your own life. You want a great Christmas? Actually show up for it and actually experience it. All right, y'all, I want to tell you about a new resource that makes screen time meaningful called Minnow. Minnow has shows that kids love with values that parents trust. And here's the cool thing. It helps my family connect with God every day of the week, not just on Sundays. And I know that I can trust the shows because Minnow has an amazing team of moms, dads, and church leaders that make sure every show is safe. You can learn more about Minnow by downloading the Minnow app, or you can go to gominnow.com. That's GOMINNO.com. All right, y'all, as we've been talking about this book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, there's some fascinating research in it. And I want to spend some time talking about it because I think the more that we are informed about how technology is affecting our lives, the more we can guard against it. Now, let me give you an example. Me, Rachel Cruz, and Annie F. Downs are really good friends. And several years ago, we went to Vegas for Rachel's 30th birthday, and y'all, we had so much fun. We were crazy, we behaved, but of course, we were like, we gotta check out the casinos. So I was very on guard about this. I'm like, I know about gambling. It can be dangerous, addictive. You lose all your money and you can't even fly home. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I set an amount of money, $100. I was gonna spend exactly $100, not any more. I was not gonna get myself in any kind of trouble. Well, I think going to Vegas and hearing about gambling and the entire casino industry, you're on guard about that, right? Because you know how addictive it is. So I immediately had limits and budgets, and I knew what I was gonna do, and I went in with my game plan, and by the way, I stuck to it. Now, here's something interesting about casinos that I learned from this book. There's some research that shows that slot machines make more money than the film industry and baseball combined, even though they only take a few quarters at a time. Why is that? Because it's such a small amount. It's just a couple quarters, right? It's just a few quarters here, it's a few pennies there, it's a few dollars there. What's the big deal? But all of those amounts of money, those tiny amounts of money add up to a significant amount of money. And it's fascinating to me that it's more than these two massive industries, baseball and the film industry combined, because it's such a small amount and because it's so very addictive. And you know what? Our phones are doing the same thing. It's just a text here. I'm just gonna check Instagram really quick. I'm just gonna post this photo really quick. Hang on, I just need to see one thing. Oh, I do need to check my email because I was expecting an email from her, and then somehow I went from email to Facebook, and now I'm on Pinterest, and my house is not good enough. I need to pin some things. I need to remodel my house, and it's a black hole that sucks us in 1 minute at a time. And we're losing our lives to technology. We're losing our lives to apps and screens, and we're missing the moments that are in front of us, not because we really love that thing. I would never look at you and tell you, oh my gosh, the most important thing in my life is this phone. This phone, checking Instagram, it's the most important thing to me. I value it more than anything else. It is the number one thing on my priority list, the phone. No, I would never say that. You would never say that either, but you know what? By how we spend our time, a quarter at a time, that's how we treat it. I love how Dave Ramsey says, I can tell what you care about by looking at your bank account and your calendar, because that's where you spend your time and that's where you spend your money. And we might go to Vegas and be on guard with budgets and limits because, oh my gosh, we know the casino industry could take our money without us realizing, so we are gonna be on guard. But we're not like that with our phone, are we? We're not so on guard. We don't have limits. We don't have boundaries. We don't have habits and practices that help us not lose our entire lives to a screen, to a tiny computer in our hand that's shouting our name all day, every day, all the time. And you know what's so interesting is it's having an actual effect on our psychology. It's having an actual effect on our attention span. So here's some more interesting research. It says in the year 2000, before the digital revolution, our attention span was 12 seconds. So let's be honest, it's not like we had a ton of wiggle room to work with here, okay? You got 12-second attention span for most human beings. Since then, since the digital revolution in the year 2000, it has dropped to 8 seconds. To put things in perspective, a goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds. Yeah, we're losing to goldfish. So if we can understand the dangerous, addictive nature of technology, of screens, of apps, of notifications, I think we can guard against it. We can put some habits and practices in place, some boundaries and guardrails around our use of technology, not to be legalistic and not be any fun, but to help us focus on what matters the most. If your phone is not the most important thing in your life, then stop acting like it is. Stop giving it that much of your attention, of your eye contact, of your energy, of your time. I don't know about you, but that's convicting for me. This is a struggle for me, like it is for you, like it is for all of us. I'm not exempt from this, and I work really hard to put some guardrails in my life to help me focus on what actually matters the most, like my children, like whoever I'm talking to that's right in front of me, for me to look up and make eye contact and be present for the people that matter the most. Let me give you one simple thing that I have done to help me manage my screen time. Okay, this is one thing that works for me. It's not that you have to do this, but it's an example of a boundary. It's an example of putting structures in place to help you be successful at what you want to actually focus on. I noticed that if my phone is within eyesight of me, like if it's anywhere in the room, even in my peripheral vision, it might not be on the dinner table, but it's on the kitchen counter and my eye can see it. I've noticed I feel compelled unconsciously, y'all, to go over, pick up the phone and check it. It did not ring. It did not vibrate. It did not jump into my hands. I went to my phone unconsciously over and over again to check it. So I noticed this pattern that if I can see it, I feel the need to touch it. If I can see it, I feel the need to grab it and check it and see if there's any new notifications or see what's going on email, Instagram, fill in the blank. So I was like, I've got to get out of eyesight. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind, literally. So for me, one of the things that I do is I've realized when I come home from work from 5:30 when I get home until 7:30 when my kids go to bed, I don't want them to see their mom on their phone, ever. I don't want my children to remember their mom on their phone for their waking hours. I want to be with my kids. I want to be present, playing with them, having dinner, baths, scavenger hunt, walks around the neighborhood, whatever. So I bought a box. It's literally just probably like a pen holder from Target. I put it in the corner of the room where I can't see it. And every day when I walk in the door, I put my phone in this box. That's the box that represents to me, you're switching gears to focus on what matters the most. When I feel inclined to go to the box and get the phone, I have this check of, is whatever you're about to do more important than your children in front of your face? Is whatever you're about to do so important that you want to create a memory in your child's mind of you on your phone looking at a screen? Is it that important? Y'all, it's just a simple practice that helps me be on guard. It's a simple practice that helps me focus on what actually is most important to me in the hours that are very important from the time that I get home from work until the time that my kids go to bed. After that, I can check my phone. After that, my husband and I might be looking at weather, checking our budgets, connecting on calendars, whatever. But from 5 to 7, 5:30 to 7:30, my phone has a location, and that location is not in my hands. And when it's out of sight, it's out of mind. When it's out of sight, I don't touch it. When it's out of sight, I don't check it. And when it's out of sight, I don't lose my time to it. What about you? What's a simple habit or practice that you could create in your life around technology? Maybe you leave it in the car when you get home from work. Maybe you leave it upstairs in your bedroom on the charger. Maybe you give yourself permission to not photograph every single thing your child does. I don't know about you, but as a mom of 3 kids, I just want to capture it all. Well, that's my reason for I need my phone up. Something cute might happen. Might need to take a picture of it. Then what do? Then I post that picture. Then I'm checking the likes on that picture, and down I go in the rabbit hole. What if I just, experience the moment in real time, not through a screen, not capture it? I got no shortage of pictures, y'all, and you do too. We've got tens of thousands of pictures on our phone. We got plenty of cute pictures of our kids. We have more pictures than we could ever go back in our old age and look at. We got plenty of pictures. Don't feel the pressure to keep your phone with you to capture every single thing. What about just letting yourself live in the moment? See things in real time. Look up. Make eye contact and be present for the people and the moments that matter the most to you. I think if you do that, you will completely change how you experience your own life. All right, y'all, I want to tell you about my new devotional, Living True 40 Days to Get Back to You. I don't know about you, but I have many times in my life felt like I lost myself. Whether it's in motherhood or the day-to-day grind or my roles and responsibilities, it's really easy to look up one day and you go, where am I? It's so easy to feel like you lose yourself in your own life. But I think God wants to remind us that you are more than that. You are more than your roles and your responsibilities. You are more than your tasks and your to-do list. You are more. And it's that more that I want to invite you to discover on this journey to get back to you. In this 40-day devotional, I want to walk you through 4 sections. I want to help you know who God is, who you are, where you are, and where you're going. And when we reset and refocus on those things, I believe you can get back to you. And more than that, I think you can get back to who He created you to be. You can get your copy of Living True 40 Days to Get Back to You by going to christywright.com. All right, y'all, I would love to share a verse with you. And it's probably a verse that you've heard before. I certainly have heard it for years. And it's one of those that's familiar, and so familiar you might just miss it. This is Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. This is a short verse. It's just a few words, but I would love to spend a few minutes just really looking at it. Because if I'm honest with you, a lot of my hurry and rushing and activity and need to do all the things all the time for all the people comes from this deeper need to be the hero. I just feel like I need to save the day. I have this Mother Teresa complex. Like, well, if I don't do it, who will do it? If I don't do it, it won't get done. Like as if somehow the world hangs on my shoulders, which is laughable. I realize when I say it out loud. But I think a lot of us have this inner drive, this pull to be everything to everyone. And what if it doesn't get done? And what if someone else does it and they're not going to do it as good as we would have? I'm going to need to go ahead and reorganize the dishwasher because do you know we could fit 3 more cups? Yeah, I'm going to do that for you. We do that. We spend our lives rushing around. We're busy, we're burnout, we're running ragged, we're running ourselves into the ground. And I just love this verse that tells us, it doesn't ask, it's not a suggestion, it's a command. It says, be still. Can you be still? I'm not very good at it. I don't know when I would sit down, but when I do sit down, it doesn't last long. I'm not even comfortable because I'm constantly thinking of more things that I need to do. Be still. Be quiet. Don't look at your phone. Don't even listen to music. What if you could just be still? Just stop. Stop the noise. Stop the rushing. Stop the running. Stop trying to perform. Stop trying to keep up. Just stop. Be still. And I love the second part of this verse. And it reminds you, and know that I am God. Yeah. I heard a pastor say one time, there is a God and it's not me. I was like, gosh, why is that so hard to remember? There is a God and it's not me. There is a God and it's not you. The world will go on. Everyone's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You and I, we're not as important as we think we are. We're certainly not as important as if we act like we are. Like things are going to fall apart if you take a nap. Like things are going to fall apart if you don't do all the 400 things on your to-do list. Let's be honest, as you're looking at your to-do list as an example, however many things on your to-do list, I challenge you right now, go look at it. How many of those things really have to be done? Have to be done. Maybe 5% of them. You got things on that to-do list that are ideas in your head, fleeting things you think you could do, pressures other people put on you, things you just voluntarily signed yourself up for. 95% of those things don't have to be done, but we put the pressure on ourselves as if they do. We live our lives as if we are God and the world hangs on our shoulder and we run ourselves ragged. It reminds me so much of the example in the Bible of Mary and Martha. I am so Martha. Mary is sitting at Jesus' feet and Martha is rushing around trying to get all the things done, which can never be done. You and me and Martha know this all too well. And Martha gets mad. I hear you, Martha. What is she doing? Just sitting at his feet, hanging out? Mary, pitch in, okay? Many hands makes the work light, right? Get in here and help me. And Martha complains to Jesus, would you please tell her to get it together and help me out? I could be done faster if I had a little help around here. Have you ever been there? I have. I'm so Martha. And Jesus says, Martha, you are worried about many things, but few are needed. Mary has chosen what is better. And what is Mary doing? She is sitting at Jesus' feet. It's convicting for me, but it's also a beautiful reminder and invitation for me and you to be still and know that God is God and you and I are not. I've got some questions for reflection as you think about this. The first question is this: what area of your life, or maybe multiple areas, do you feel the need to be a hero? What are the areas that you feel like you have to carry all the weight, get it all done? You are Martha. What areas do you struggle to let things go because you feel the need to be the hero? Write down your answer. Number 2, what would need to happen for you to stop? What must be true for you to be still and rest? What do you need? Wake up earlier, to be alone, to have a quiet time, to get rid of your to-do list, to have help, support, for you to accept help and support, for the help and support to be good enough for you? What do you need to slow down and be still? Write down your answer. Number 3, what if that wasn't true? What if you don't need those things? What if you could just stop right now? What if you could be still right now simply because you decide to, even though things aren't yet done, even though maybe someone's not knocking your door down to help you, even if you don't have the support you need, even if your house is still a mess? How could you be still? How could you be still even in the chaos? Write down your answer. And your last question is simply around Christmas. How can you be still this Christmas? Maybe you don't volunteer to host everyone in the world at your house. Maybe you don't commit to make every single dish from scratch. Maybe you have 2 dishes and maybe it's a potluck and people bring those dishes. How can you be still and be merry at Jesus' feet, relaxing and being present and enjoying the true reason for the season? How can you be still this Christmas? Write down your answer. All right, I'd love to pray for us as we wrap up. God, thank you for your word. Thank you that you remind us what we need to know and what we need to do. You know, we are so quick to rush around. We're so quick to think we're God and act like we're God and behave as if we're God. You remind us to be still and know that you are God. God, help us to let things go. Help us to relax and rest even when there are things that are not yet done. Lord, help us be merry. Help us rest at your feet and simply enjoy your presence this Christmas season and all year long. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all so much for joining me as always, and you can tune in next week for another episode of The Christy Wright Show. Of course, for more encouragement on finding confidence in yourself and the God that created you, you can visit ChristyWright.com.